In basketball, you could dribble right-handed. You knew how to work the system. You could optimize. So if we took R.W. Griffin, Fundamentals of Management, I think it's in the 6th edition, probably the best book in my textbook in my example, and book in terms of just fundamental management systems, how to optimize an ongoing system and improve it. There are certain characteristics that you exhibited that people said, yes, I want more of that. You're taking care of the gifts of the organization that we gave you, the resources, and you've moved them ahead. Thank you very much. You move 1 step ahead, 2 steps ahead, longevity, something. We invest in you. We see you as the best of the organization. Wonderful. And I'm going to say we don't want to get rid of that right-hand dribble. But what seems to be called upon now is a left-hand dribble that's different. And I'll point that out, but it's best captured in a summit on transformation that's held in 2005. The definition, transformational leaders establish, enhance more effective mindsets. And actually this goes all the way back to Peter Senge in the field books, talks about leader changes mindsets. I mean, I don't know where, I grew up in manufacturing and I wanted drones. Third shift, I didn't want any questions. I didn't want to get on that packing line and make it happen. But that won't make it today. That won't give the results that we need today. So we need to have more effective mindsets within their community. They're inspired by a deep understanding of individual and collective purpose, and of course, successfully bring into creation which previously they create. They don't manage only, they create. So if I step back, and you have this model, there's a 3 one-point lesson plan that you have there. I want to leave you with these key messages. First one was transformation. Second one was leadership model. And it builds upon, first, a consciousness, that change consciousness that we're seeking. Who am I in terms of me? Who am I in terms of relationships? Who am I in terms of the enterprise itself? But now look what happens. If I put the axes on it of change focus, standardization focus, and then incremental would be running in the middle of that too. And internal, external focus, very popular to do that. The research that me and my colleagues did, really culminating in 2002, took a look at cross-cultural too. Worldwide, we look at major cultures and actually saw how they responded to different aspects of this model. We see 4 polarities come forth, and this is the problem. The managerial polarity of knowing the way it is something that we're often rewarded with a right-hand dribble. Do you understand the enterprise? Do you understand the intake process, the outplacement process? Do you understand how we do the budget? Do you understand that? And the answer is yes, and this is where we are. This is our performance to date. This is where we are in terms of clients served, in terms of satisfaction, or whatever it may be. We need that. But on the other hand, we need the visionary aspect that says, where are we going? Now, you'll recognize this one probably the quickest because we use it in criticism of individuals often in this way. We may say of a single person, you know, she's a great manager. She's down in the operation every day, but for the life of me, I don't know where we're going. Doesn't mean her right-hand dribble's no good. It means it's great right-hand dribble, understands day-to-day operation, no left-hand dribble. But the reverse is also true. You know, he is inspirational. He's painted a picture where he goes, but for the life of me, I don't think he's ever been out here. I don't think he knows what's happening down here on the floor. His head's in the clouds. His feet are not grounded. So that's a great left-hand dribble, poor right. What we want is a person that has both of those. And those are opposite ends of skill set. Do you see this? Make sense? Because we want to build upon this. I'll take your head nodding as, not that you're tired, but we take this and we say, okay, and the next one is administrative, another management. Do you know how to get things done in the system? Do you know how to work outside the system? 2 skill sets, right-hand dribble, administration, left-hand dribble, out-of-the-box thinking. Are you energetic? Do you come in ready to seize the work? Hey, that's great. But by seizing the work, are you choking down the individuals that are work around you? Or do you have a way to empower them? I know that your infectious energy worked maybe in your coworkers initially, if they didn't scorn you too much. It certainly got the attention of the hierarchy. But now, if the only suit that you have of skills is to be infectious with your energy, it doesn't work with teams. long term. You being psyched up about it and not asking them about their excitement and who they are. Likewise, I get results. I'm a performer, get another right-hand managerial skill. But the question is, can I get results not just through my team, but through the community as a whole? Redefining the area in which you work. Well, my department's looking good. I'm not talking about your department. I'm talking about the community, the world you work in. Is your lot moving ahead and transforming based upon your understanding of something much larger than just the people that report to you, your FTEs? So when we're done with this, we have this occur. Managerial is great on internal focus, optimization, standardization, big part of the work. We want performer, energetic individuals, analytical, administrative, roll up the sleeve, and you've done that. Wonderful, thank you. Now I'll give you a bigger wave. Get off the beach, get out there in the surf. Here's a longboard. You do that well. Great. Here's a shorter board, a higher wave, a taller wave. And suddenly we find in research out of the University of Chicago, a key piece of research found that the progression of our best managers to leaders, there's a tipping point where we have great deal of fatalities occur. They get strung out. Are you there? You've managed something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon your right-hand dribble is never going to be good enough. And so what we find is this falling off. And being your manager, being the person you report to, I'd be sympathetic. You'd come to me and ask, hey, I'm managing this whole thing now, and all this stuff is happening, and I just feel I have no home life, da-da-da. And I'd say, well, all I can tell you, Sally, all I can tell you, Tim, is hang in there. That's what I did, and somehow it works out. See you next week during our counseling meeting. Yeah. This follows a whole other text that was out in the 1990s, the Requisite Organization, a tough text to read, but it was a good one, that said basically, me as a player coach, I'm not a good coach to you because I don't understand that I made the shift to take on leadership as well as managerial. I know I did it, but I can't articulate it. So probably my boss would be the better one to coach you. But that doesn't occur, so what we find in organizations, we lose our best managers. Now, the good news about these best managers in subsequent studies of where did they go, they learned from the school of hard knocks, got back on the horse, and sooner or later, they made the transition. Many of them did. Or we use parallel progression. We take our best managers and never make them leaders. We just say, hey, you're the best engineer, so we have an engineering, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be leading people. Now, I think that's even worn out its welcome, to tell you the truth. But here you are. What am I calling upon you to do? The issue of leadership. It's a challenge. So what I'd like for you to do is back into your groups, just in your pairings, just speak about where are you in terms of your skill set on those 8 different attributes, characteristics, creative, visionary, performer, empowering. Where do you stand tall? Which one would be a left-hand dribble for you? I didn't mean to insult left-hand dribblers, by the way. Be PC here. Where would be the challenge for you to take on a new skill set that you currently don't have? So just 4 minutes again in your groups. Go ahead. John Sarr, this is probably a well-used quote. You may have seen it before, but I still think it points to the essence of it. The future is not a result of choices among alternative paths offered by the present, but a place that is created first in the mind, I would say spirit, and will, created next in activity. The future is not some place we are going to, but one that we are creating. The paths are not to be found, but made, and the activity of making them changes both the maker and the destination. I know that maybe when you signed up for the work in the organization, making the path, reinventing the organization, transforming everything around you was not in your mind, or maybe it was. It is a requirement now. Just sit back for a minute. You don't think the automobile industry saw a tsunami? I mean, could they really not see this healthcare? Couldn't see the tsunami? I mean, the tide went way the hell out. It's 10 miles out. There's no beach, and they got weeks to study, years to study it, and then suddenly the wave comes and it's like, what? Where'd this come from?